For decades, a silent financial crime has sat beneath the surface of global markets, ignored, denied, and dismissed. It did not involve thieves breaking into vaults or hackers breaching digital networks. Instead, it happened through laws, policies, and quiet manipulations that looked legitimate on paper but devastated citizens' wealth in ways they never fully understood. Governments discovered that the easiest way to seize value was not through force, but through controlling money itself. By altering gold laws, freezing private assets, and quietly reshaping currency systems, they extracted wealth without the public realizing what had been taken from them. This hidden crime spread across continents, unfolding differently in each nation, yet always leading to the same outcome: ordinary people losing the real value of their savings, while those in power strengthened their control. The story is not just history, it is a warning. Governments learned long ago that direct taxation has limits. People resist when they see the cost plainly. But financial manipulation leaves no fingerprints. By printing money, restricting gold ownership, or altering currency standards, they could legally siphon purchasing power while appearing to protect the economy. In many nations, the crime was executed not with force but with signatures on documents. Citizens trusted official announcements, believing they were being shielded from economic dangers, unaware that the real threat came from the very institutions claiming to protect them. Inflation became a hidden tax. Currency swaps became tools of quiet confiscation, and every adjustment to the monetary system chipped away at private wealth while strengthening centralized authority. In the early 20th century, nations facing war, recession, or political turmoil discovered a powerful tool: the ability to control gold. Gold had always been the ultimate safeguard for citizens, money that governments could not print or manipulate. But during times of crisis, leaders reframed gold as a threat rather than protection. They argued that private ownership weakened national stability, convincing citizens to surrender their gold for the supposed good of the country. What people didn't realize was that this was not economic protection, it was strategic confiscation. By removing gold from the hands of the public, governments freed themselves to print unlimited currency without accountability. The move was justified as patriotism, but in reality it quietly erased the people's financial independence, replacing hard value with controlled paper promises. Once gold was centralized in state vaults, the next stage of the hidden crime began. Governments no longer needed to justify extreme monetary decisions because the public no longer held assets that could resist inflation. Printing money became easier. Quietly changing currency rules became routine. Every shift benefited those in power at the expense of ordinary workers. When inflation rose, officials blamed foreign conflicts or external shocks. But the true cause was the deliberate weakening of the currency. The public unknowingly financed government debts through the loss of their savings' real value. What was taken from them was invisible: their time, their effort, their purchasing power. And yet, the system was structured so that no one could point to a single moment of theft. It was a crime. Over time, the hidden financial crime evolved beyond gold. Governments began experimenting with new forms of control: capital restrictions, frozen bank accounts, emergency monetary decrees, and sudden currency redenominations. Each method had the same effect: shifting power away from the individual and toward the state. Citizens found themselves trapped inside systems where their money existed only as numbers that could be altered, limited, or erased. The shift from physical to digital finance made this easier than ever. A bank account could be frozen in seconds. Entire currencies could be replaced overnight. These tools, originally justified as public protection, quietly became mechanisms of absolute control, leaving people vulnerable to decisions they never voted for and could not reverse. Throughout history, every major economic collapse shares a common pattern. The public discovers too late what has been taken from them. When savings evaporate, when currencies lose 90% of their value, when pensions shrink to nothing, people assume the collapse was sudden. But in truth, the foundation had been rotting for decades. Hidden crimes accumulate slowly, beneath layers of official explanations and reassurances. By the time the damage becomes visible, the system is already beyond repair. The tragedy is not just financial, it is psychological. Citizens lose trust in institutions, in leadership, in the very idea of stability. And yet the perpetrators rarely face consequences because the crime was committed in a way that leaves no clear evidence. As global markets expanded, a new layer of hidden financial manipulation emerged: international coordination. Governments realized that if they acted together, their decisions would attract less suspicion. Currency agreements, secret financial pacts, and coordinated interest rate moves became tools of silent control. Ordinary citizens had no idea that their economic fate was often decided in closed meetings thousands of miles away. When currencies crashed or debt levels exploded, officials blamed global trends, hiding the reality that many crises were deliberately engineered or quietly allowed to unfold. By presenting their policies as part of a global consensus, leaders avoided accountability and disguised manipulation as cooperation. This international dimension made the hidden crime harder than ever to detect. As digital finance took over the world, governments gained unprecedented surveillance power. Every transaction, loan, and transfer became traceable. What was once anonymous economic freedom turned into a monitored environment where deviations could be punished instantly. While officials claimed these tools were necessary to fight fraud and terrorism, they also gave governments the ability to cut individuals off from economic life with a single command. This new level of control transformed the hidden crime into something more dangerous: programmable money. With digital currencies, authorities could restrict how funds are spent, where they can be used, and even when they expire. The ability to freeze or delete wealth became as simple as typing a command. At the center of every monetary system is one question: who decides what money is worth? Throughout history, governments have insisted on controlling that answer. By claiming exclusive authority over currency, they gained the power to redefine value whenever it suited them. Gold-backed money could be replaced with paper, paper could be replaced with digital code, and digital code could be restricted or modified without public consent. The hidden crime lies in the illusion of stability. People believe their money represents something real, yet its value changes based on decisions made by individuals they will never meet. The silent theft happens not through robbery, but through the slow erosion of purchasing power. And because it happens gradually, most never notice until it is too late. Every financial crime has victims, but the hidden monetary crime has the broadest reach of all. It affects workers, retirees, savers, and families, people who did everything right yet still fall behind. They work harder every year, only to discover that their earnings buy less. They save for decades, only to watch inflation consume their future. This is the cruelty of the crime. The victims blame themselves. They believe they didn't work hard enough, didn't invest wisely, didn't plan correctly. In reality, the system was designed so that their efforts could never keep up with engineered currency decay. The psychological impact is devastating. A population exhausted, self-doubting, and unaware of the manipulation that shaped their struggle. The hidden crime persists because it hides behind complexity. Economic terminology, technical reports, and mathematical models create a wall that shields the truth. Ordinary citizens are told that monetary policy is too complicated for them to understand, so they must trust the experts. But complexity is often a deliberate disguise. The more confused people are, the easier it becomes to mask manipulation. Governments and financial institutions take advantage of this fog. presenting themselves as guardians while quietly reshaping the system to concentrate power. True transparency is avoided because it would reveal how much control has been exerted over people's wealth without their knowledge or consent. The hidden money crime buried for decades is not a single event. It is an ongoing system. But understanding it is the first step toward protecting oneself. When people recognize how value is quietly taken from them, they begin seeking assets that cannot be manipulated, systems that cannot be rewritten, and knowledge that cannot be censored. Throughout history, those who survived financial upheaval were not the wealthiest, but the most informed. Awareness transforms vulnerability into resilience. The crime thrives in silence, but loses power when people start asking the right questions. Who controls money? Who benefits from inflation? Who shapes the rules? The moment citizens reclaim their understanding, the hidden crime begins to collapse.